Welcome. It is officially tier list era on the Tristan Miller YouTube channel. I know I did that one Arctic Monkeys song tier list thing, but that was every song, and that's just hard. And I feel like I should present this kind of thing in a format we're all familiar with. That's why I'm going to do it on tiermaker.com. We all know it, we all love it, we've all used it, I'm sure. Let me see if I can give your opinion some confirmation with today's list. I'm starting with the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters were my first real favorite band that I felt like they were my thing, because no one else I knew really was into them. And I know they kind of get a. I feel like they kind of get a bad rap these days because they're considered dad rock. But I feel like a lot of their stuff, especially the earlier music, has some hints of that underground, punky rock, good rock music. But I don't want to give anything away right now. Let's just get started. Let's do it. So first we've got Foo Fighters' self-titled album. This is one that I really like. It's got a lot of energy. It's really raw. Dave Grohl recorded this all by himself. And it's got some great tracks like This Is a Call, Big Me, Alone and Easy Target, Exhausted. I personally really like Weenie Beanie. That song's fucking crazy. And you can really hear the passion in his playing. It's a great album. I think there's only one song on it called Oh George that I'm not the biggest fan of. I've got to give this one the S tier. It's an album that wasn't supposed to be. Came out of necessity to make music, I think. That's the place it came from. And you can hear it. So, S tier. Up next is The Color and the Shape, the first real album with multiple band members. One of their major hits, Everlong, the song that we all know them for. If they were a one-hit wonder, that would be their one-hit wonder. But there's plenty of other good songs on there, like My Poor Brain, Hey Johnny Park, Monkey Wrench, New Way Home, See You, Up in Arms. So many good songs, including the bonus tracks, including the song The Color and the Shape. That song's really cool. Yeah, this album's just another banger for me. So I'm going to put that in S tier also. Sorry, things are going to get more interesting coming up next, don't worry. Here is an album that I wouldn't call it a love-hate relationship. I have a strong affinity for this album because it was recorded in Virginia, around my area in Virginia, which is like the DC area. And I just get a warm feeling knowing that the Foo Fighters were recording this album around where I was. I was a baby at the time, but like I was within a 20-mile radius of this probably, or 50-mile radius. I don't know. I was close by when they were recording this album, and hearing stories of them recording this album, like they bought a house and they're having cookouts and playing basketball outside, and this album I would consider the most chill one. Yeah, it gives me a good feeling on the inside. That being said, there are some of the songs don't feel as strong. Some feel kind of thrown together. That being said, there are some bangers like Stacked Actors, Learn to Fly, Next Year, which is definitely probably my top 5 of songs of theirs. Ain't It the Life, lots of good ones on that. Aurora. My only issue, like some of the songs that I love every song on this. I think I love every song on this album. There are some lyrical themes that repeat a little too much for my liking. Some Dave Grohl-isms, lyrics. I think he sort of found himself as a lyricist here, but unfortunately he sort of kept to the same bundle of words and continues to use them in the rest of the discography. But just given my affinity for this album, I'm going to give it an A. High school me probably would have given it an S, but I'm a man now. Can't you see? Next, One by One. Starting to get into slightly dicey territory. While this album does have some great songs, like All My Life and Times Like These, which is my second favorite Foo Fighters song, I think, we got quite a few weak songs, like Come Back and Burn Away. Weak, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of those. There are some sleepers on there that I like Have It All. Sounds sort of like a midnight. That song sounds like a midnight highway to me. Yeah, pretty good. Their songs are good, or there's one great one. I consider All My Life to be good. Like it's good. It's good in a It's great in a live setting. But there are just quite a few songs that bring it down for me. Trying to decide B or C. I think I'm gonna put it in C. No, I'll put it in B. I'll put it in B. Yeah, that feels right. I think Times Like These brings it up. Have It All brings it up there. Low. Yeah. Okay, moving on. In Your Honor, the double album. My issue with this album is that lots of songs on it kind of sound the same, or they're not too. Yeah, like there's a song called The Last Song, and there's The Deepest Blues Are Black. I think that's what it's called. Those songs just all kind of sound. There's a lot of songs that sound like that, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean, you'll know what I mean, you know. But there are some good tracks. We have, from the acoustic side, we have Still and On the Mend, Friend of a Friend, Razor, Best of You, of course, is great. I used to like Resolve more than I do now. I'm going to give that one a C. I think they should have gone with a quality over quantity route on that. Because if they had, I think it would have been really solid. It probably would have been... It probably just would have gone up one, honestly. Like, even the good songs on this are not particularly my cup of tea. But, you know, I don't hate it. Up next is Echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace. This album is pretty weak to me. There's only 2 songs that I like on it, which is The Pretender. 2 songs that I really like, which is The Pretender and Long Road to Ruin. The 2 singles. I'm a dumb bitch. There's... What am I saying? There's Come Alive. That song's really good. That song might have just saved it from going to the SMH section. Statues and Home are interesting, like piano ballads. I don't think they're anything... Like, I'm sure they came from, like, a really real place. Some heartbreaking lyrics on them, too. But, especially on Home. But I don't know if that's enough to save it from being in C. So I'll leave it there. Up next is Wasting Light. Ooh, baby. We back, boys. So this album is pretty sick. They went all out on this one. You can tell they tried really hard. Every song, pretty much every song is a banger. I can't really think of one that I don't like. Like, if I didn't like one, maybe it would be A Matter of Time. But that song's still good. Would I regard it as high as those from the 2S albums? I don't know. I do think I like it more than There's Nothing Left to Lose. So I'll put it number 1 on the A row. The A row. Yeah, it's got some great songs like Rope, Walk, White Limo, I Should Have Known. Great stuff, great stuff. You guys should really check that one out. Okay, next. Dave Grohl gets documentary fever, and they make Sonic Highways. So this is very controversial, I think. I think the series is great. Made me appreciate the songs more. I think there's only one song that I kind of like all the way through. Like, I like the solo part of Outside, and I think I like Congregation. But other than that, like, as a Foo Fighters fan, I just accept these songs as part of the canon. But you won't find me listening to them of my own volition. So I think this is the first one that's gonna be in the SMH section. I'm sorry. I'm just not a. I just can't with that one. I think my least favorite is "I Am a River" because I don't even know what that means. But respect. It's a great TV series. Next is Concrete and Gold. Some good ones on this. I like Run. I like Arrows. I like T-Shirt. A lot of the other ones. One of my issues with this album is that a lot of the songs don't know when to end. Like the line, the chorus plays like 16 times in Happy Hour, Zero Hour, or Happily Ever After, Zero Hour. I think that's what it's called. That song doesn't know when to end. Like, those songs would be really good if they ended it earlier, because the chorus just plays too many times. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put this one. Yeah, I think that's the bottom of C. I think I'm gonna move this up. I like Echoes more than In Your Honor. I think. I don't know. Doesn't matter. They're all in C. Finally, Medicine at Midnight. This one was kind of a doozy for me. I was hoping that they would, I don't know, do anything sort of interesting for us kids. I don't know. I wanted them to rock more than they did. I wanted them to groove more than they did. I think with this album, they cemented their unfortunate dad rock image, because all these songs are supposed to be like throwbacks to classic rock, which is fine. I'm just not the biggest fan of classic rock, as you can tell. I'm basically a Strokes channel. But yeah, Medicine at Midnight, no thanks, buddy. The only song I like on that is Holding Poison. I almost like Chasing Birds, but I don't. That's another SMH for me. I definitely like Sonic Highways more than Medicine at Midnight. And that's my ranking of all the Foo Fighters albums. You know, this list being said, I love the Foo Fighters, and I always will. I grew up on their music. I remember hearing it ever since I was a little kid, and then all of a sudden, I became obsessed. Particularly with Dave, because he's just a cool guy. No disrespect to the band at all. This is just my personal preference. I still like Medicine at Midnight more than any song by Britney or Christina or many people on the radio. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed my rambling. I'm just going to make another tier list right now. I'll see you next time, baby, on the next episode of Tier List Era.